Happy Friday.
Hey, so we're going to take a deep dive on the ESG510 router because we want to explain like what it's for, how to do a few things, right?
Yeah, yeah. We'll see how deep dive we go.
Yeah, I mean, just on some features that, people had questions about. Um,
Yeah, that
but
kind of pop up, right?
yeah, the same questions kind of pop up, and I will say that this it's a cloud-based router, so the configuration looks a little different than your web-based configuration router that you're used to working with.
Yeah, and the objective, right, is to try to make it as simple as possible for anybody to use. And now, like when you go in, it may, like you said, it may look a little bit different than you're used to, but you can do the same things easier and faster, right?
Yes. It's meant to reduce the need for support because it's laid out in a way that is just like going to be logical and simple, but still you're still able to do any function that you could do in another router.
Yeah. And I don't think when you look at this, you're going to have to like unlearn everything you've learned in the past and like relearn something brand new, right?
Right.
I would say it's pretty intuitive once you like look at it, read it, and like actually play with it. You have a full understanding. Like the first time I did it, I didn't have any issues, right? But anybody that's been doing, local interface configurations or something like that may misread something or not quite understand what is being said, right?
Got an order.
You got an order.
That's what that
Already
cha-ching
sold
was.
one. You sold one already.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Let's see. Okay, so I'm in the gateway now. I don't know if you probably can't see this, Brian, but I'm in the gateway now, and I'm on the configuration menu. I'm going to go into LAN. Now you can see I have two LANs in here, VLAN 2 and a VLAN 1 with my LAN here. So first thing, addressing. So this is the IP address that you're going to assign to the gateway right here, okay?
Yeah.
And then this is the subnet mask /24. Now most routers will have 255.255.255.0 subnet mask, right? Here
Yeah.
you have the slash, which is just a different way of writing it out.
Yeah. We
So
just get right to the point and,
right, they're trying to minimize the number of inputs that you need to make, right? So
yeah.
instead of having a whole nother IP address mask and subnet mask in there, you just have a /24 or whatever
Yeah.
you want to use. Now I'm going to move over to the DHCP tab. Now under here you see reserved IP range. So this is addresses that you want to exclude from the DHCP server. Okay, so I have 10.0.0.1 through 10.0.0.114 reserved for static IPs. Okay,
Yeah.
even though I have that whole class C in my DHCP address scheme, I'm excluding that, and then I'm going to exclude 10.0.0 that 241 to 10.0.0.253 for static IPs. Okay.
Yeah. So you're taking an allotment of IP addresses and you're reserving them. You're reserving that range.
For static IPs. So if I want to put like something that not using DHCP, an IP camera that's always going to be on that address, access point that you want to put a static IP on, you put it in that range. That's what
Right.
that's for. Now, the terminology here, it says reserved. So this isn't a DHCP reservation, okay? This is excluded addresses from the DHCP server. Over here, where it says fixed IP list, these are DHCP reservations.
Yes. Yep.
So right here, you put the MAC address of the device that you want to reserve an IP address for out of that DHCP range. So basically, you would choose an IP address inside the DHCP reservation range, and then put the MAC address and give it a name right here. And every time that device comes online, the DHCP server is going to give it that same IP address.
That's right. Yep.
Okay, so that's what fixed IP address list is. Um, so anything you want to say about that, Brian? I know you
I
can't
mean,
see it.
it's pretty, we try to make it as simple as possible. So the wording, you may not be familiar with how we structure or word things. And maybe that's something to mention, right? But it's pretty easy. It's pretty
It,
easy to use.
yeah, I mean, after your first time, you're going to know exactly where everything is. Like, that's basically it. Like, if you're going
Yeah.
to use this on your sites, and let's say real quickly that um, this router gateway is perfect for sites that are using ingenious cloud switches and access points because you're going to be able to manage everything under one panel. That's why you're going to use this router gateway.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you can use this gateway and
By
pretty much
itself,
most situations. Yeah, you
right.
can use it in most situations. Um, and we continue to add more and more features. So we've added even to the diagnostic, we started adding diagnostic tools that will continue to add on the diagnostic tools. Firewall will continue to add on the firewall. In fact, we have some updates coming down the pipeline for the firewall. So there's some added features going there. You did want to bring up the firewall too
Yeah,
as
so I'm
well.
going to show the firewall now. Give me 1 second here. Let's see. Gateway, firewall. Okay, I'm going to share my screen again. Okay, so on the firewall, I'm showing the firewall screen now. So it's a basic firewall, but you can add rules to do whatever you want. So you can pick TCP, UDP, ICMP, all the major protocols, and whether you want to allow or deny it, source, destination, all this, destination port number, description. So you can create all your own firewall rules. It's all in there. Now, there's no predefined rules, just this one. The predefined rule allows all traffic out, no traffic in. It's going to block all traffic, so nothing's getting in with the default rule. Now, you can also do port forwarding, which I have a bunch of them set up here. So I have, let's say my Blue Iris server with my IP cameras. I'm forwarding from the external WAN to this IP address on port 80, okay? So you can do all this port forwarding. You can do one-to-one NAT, and then the allowed services are basically are you allowed to ping the gateway and local web configuration, is that enabled or disabled, so you can see that local interface. So that's the firewall. It's basic, but everything's there.
Yeah.
And then the one other thing I wanted to show was the client VPN.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to go to Gateway, Client VPN. So here's the configuration for the client VPN. It's pretty simple. You need to use a ShrewSoft client on Windows to get Windows to connect to the client VPN, okay? iOS works right out of the box. I'll show a picture of the ShrewSoft client. Let's see. Do I have it? Yeah. So I'll put that up. So yeah, it's a free client you can download and set up. I've done it. It's easy. It doesn't work with the Windows native VPN client right now, but I think it will in the future.
Yeah, one of the well, it wasn't about VPN, but
Yeah.
yeah, one of the things we really focused on is site-to-site VPN, and to make that really, really easy to use.
Right.
Obviously, the client VPN is also a bonus, but yeah, that was the one of the major items that we wanted to make sure we had is the site-to-site VPN.
Right.
So we put a lot of time into that portion of it to make it really easy to implement.
I'm sharing that page right now so they can kind of see how it works. But yeah, the site-to-site VPN is super easy. Like if you have two sites that you want to connect with VPN, which is kind of like how it's going to work. You have a remote office where maybe somebody working from home or a small office, and then you have another ESG back at the main office, and they can all connect back into that without having any type of client device, right? Any type of client configuration for the VPN. And it's all automatic. It uses it auto configures. It uses the cloud to determine IP addressing and all that. So it's very easy to use the site to site. So the client VPN isn't really something that we would think would be used that much, but it's there if you need it.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Brian. Anything else you wanted to talk about?
Just just to reiterate, so on the firewall side, we will see more firewall updates, software updates. I would say by the end of May, maybe June timeframe. So coming up pretty quickly, you'll see more updates within the cloud around the firewall side. So you'll be able to do more.
Yeah, and a lot of people are using the ESG510. They love it. I mean, I've been using it. You've been using it, and it's extremely fast. If you have a connection that's over a gigabit, it'll route that no problem.
Yep.
So it's extremely fast, easy to set up, and integrates with the Ingenious Cloud. So it's like a one-pane configuration for the whole system.
That's right. Yeah.
So.
And the only one thing I would add is if you're in New Jersey or in Florida, we will be doing a cloud summit, and we will be talking about the updates that will be happening on the gateway and some new gateways that are coming out. So if you're in New Jersey or if you're in Florida, please contact us or contact Jeff. We'll be there the week of May 15th. The 16th in January and May, and the 18th in Florida.
Yes, so yeah, I'll be in New Jersey. So anybody have questions about that, let me know, and we'll try to get as many people there as possible to find out about the new gateway features. All right, Brian, remember to like and subscribe, and we'll be back next week with another